Hey, what's going on? I'm back with another deck profile. This time is going to be a pan deck profile. This is the deck that I almost played at Nats. I did kind of audible back to Hercule because, like I said, that was the deck I was playing kind of previously. So I just had like familiarity of playing it recently, even though like I do play pan kind of frequently, and it's one of my favorite leaders. Um, so I ended up obviously changing to Hercule, but the reason why I almost went with Pan is she doesn't really have a lot of bad matchups or any bad like straight losses in the meta game. She's a lot more. She doesn't have a lot of great matchups either. Like she doesn't just auto win versus anything. It's all like grindier games, but as like a pretty skilled player, I felt pretty confident that I'd be able to grind the games out, and then I kind of just audibled back to Hercule. Either one, I honestly think is fine. They're both fine leaders in the meta, so I'm not really like super upset about the choice. But this is what I played at locals this week, so I'm just gonna go over this deck and like the choices. My build, it's not really anything special, but I'm just gonna go into it, and my card choices are a little bit different from some of the other hand players that played at the event. Oh, you spice. Just getting into my main deck. 3 Trunks. This is Self Awakener, obviously, and is a Trunks for your Chain Attack Evolve. And also, you can just crit early pressure because it's 20k crit if you're just playing it on turn 1 swinging. So it's pretty much guaranteeing some damage, and it's going to be crit damage, so that's good. And it's a Trunks, which is a good name. 1 planet M2. I was originally playing 2, but I cut down to 1 in the main. You really want to see this for decks that are playing Black Mass Zen, especially in their main deck, or even Crisis Crusher. You just want to get Crisis Crusher off the board, so if you do have Trunks, you can like swing with it before chain attacking or something. Anything like that. And it's also just good to like pressure, because a lot of decks want to attack your leader. So if you have this out, you can attack with your leader even after they're flipped, because a lot of the time I'll be at like 7 or 8 life. People don't attack me a lot when I play this deck. So all the cards are organized by energy cost. So these are the other 1-drops. I play 3 Unending Awakening and 4 Afterimage Technique. The 4th Hard Negate's in the side. So this is obviously your Hard Negate and super good versus Storm. This is obviously also very good versus Storm. And I just had this split. You could do 4-3. Doesn't really matter. But this is pretty much a negate, and it has the opportunity to negate 2 attacks. This can negate more than 2 attacks. Obviously, it's possible because you're going to be beamed. That's basically your beam. So both of them are really good. It could be just better to play 4 Unending and 3 Afterimage. Not really sure, but 3 Yamcha. I'd play 4 at Nats. This is obviously the deck I played at locals, and I don't own a 4th one, so I didn't go through the trouble of borrowing one. I could have, but at Nats I would have borrowed one. This card is super good in the deck. You play it, obviously, on turn 2, ideally. You're drawing a card, swinging, likely going to net another card a lot of the time. So it's going to get you 2 cards right there, so it's going to replace itself +1. And then early game, it's kind of hard for them to get off the board because it's 15k, so that I usually have to combo into it or like use an effect to kill it. And if they don't kill it, it kind of just gets a lot of value over the course of the game. 4 sideline essence Bulma as your super combo. It's always going to be a 10k if you're a 4 or less life. Obviously, you draw a card. You're not going to get a discard or drop super quick in this deck, like say Yamcha would. So playing that over like Master Roshi, I think, is better. 2 Burst Tag Gohans. This card, I think, is alright in this deck. It's not amazing, but if you're at low hand or like post Zen-oh, this can be really good. Or post Cell Chain, stuff like that, this can be really good. And it can also just be like a crit guy to swing with, 20k crit, and still draws cards. So it's just a solid body, and it's an Earthling as well, so it's another target for your Yamchas. 2 Legic. So I only play, obviously, 3 1-drop Trunks as your 1-drops. So there's a lot of the time where you're not going to play something on 1. You're going to leave an energy open for like a double shot Vegeta or a planet M2, or you're going to have a negate open, something like that, because you only play 1 1-drop. And then, or if you go second, this is also just live a lot of the time. You play it, get a free draw, and then if you still want to play Trunks after, that's fine, because you're not going to get a draw off him anyway, so you can get the draw off Logic for free, which is really good. 2 Digging Deep in the main. This could be 3, but I feel like 5 Self-Awakeners is enough, and if you see this, that's usually like 2 cards to awaken is a pretty good amount, especially if you see like a Trunks in this. If they attack you 1 time at all, then you're going to be able to awaken. So, but I could definitely see 3 in the main. This card's super good in the deck. The turn you play, it's basically swinging at 25k twice, and you can also, if you want, you can just take 1 life with it, so it's always a 5k. 3 Fearless Pan. This is going to be how you close out a lot of games, and it's also a barrier blocker. Couldn't really fit 4. I mean, you definitely could, I guess, cut something. It's not like it's bad. She's an extremely good card. There's the 4th in the side deck, but 3 in the main. Gives everything double strike, since you don't have a lot of natural double strikes in your deck. That is something that, unfortunately, Pan is lacking, and red doesn't really have that many super solid ones. But 3 Glory Obsessed Vegetas. This just clears annoying little things on the board, 5k combos, stuff like that, on Black Mass Saiyans, anything that you just don't want on the board. That little Kai, the blue one, if they're playing that and you want a double shot, mainly Black Mass Saiyan, that's obviously the main card, can kill Crisis Crushers though. 20k when you play it, obviously off your Pan effect, and then swinging for 30 on the first attack and 20 on the second. So even if they protect their cards, they're wasting a lot of resources to protect them, and then they still have to kill this off the board. Overwhelms. Play 3 Supreme Kai of Time. You could definitely play 4. This room was a little tight, so I opted to play 3. But with this leader, you can give her a boost, especially if you're not flipped, so you can pressure with her. Or at post Zen-oh, if you Zen-oh and then draw into this and flip and play this, it's super good because you leave your energy up for defense still. You're drawing 2 off this, and now she's 20k, this is 20k. And you have 3 20k attackers, so that's like a super, super good play. 4 Double Shot Vegetas. This is becoming less good in Pan due to Black Mass Saiyan, that like Kai, like I said, and just because a lot less people are attacking. Like Shenron doesn't have to attack. Like before, you were just playing against like U7 Frieza that didn't have to attack. Now like Shenron doesn't have to attack. There's other decks that just don't have to attack to awaken and progress their game state or their plan. So you want to be able to have like other options. Like this is good, but versus like Shenron stuff, I'll side this out a lot just because like they're not attacking. Four for Seeing Hit. So this is like your only natural double striker, and this card's just insane. You obviously look at their hand, pick 2 cards out. So a lot of the time you're going to stop their next play in this deck since you're not like super aggressive. But depending on their hand, you're going to remove their defense and just pressure the crap out of them, make them take a lot of life, because on the next turn you know you're going to chain Zen-oh. But if they have like a really good play next turn, you'll probably remove their play so they can't do that play, and then either just sit there to deny them cards, and then when they get the cards back, you're going to be swinging whatever with all your guys on board before you chain Zen-oh, and then post chain Zen-oh you still have like your leader and your Zen-oh to swing with. So obviously, 4 chain attack. On top of obviously Zen-oh, like I've mentioned multiple times, you can chain attack this guy into play, her into play, him into play, him into play. If you really want to get cute, you can get him into play, you can chain attack him into play. So like this deck has a lot of guys obviously that you can put into play with chain attack. It's not just limited to Zen-oh, so it's not like, oh, you need a 2-card combo for chain attack to be good. Like he's just good in this deck. For Zen-oh, going to Nats especially, I thought there would be a lot of androids, because obviously a lot of people played it at the Latin America National Championship, so I assumed a lot of people would play androids. I knew it was a really good deck, so this is obviously super good versus androids. But there's just like versus a lot of decks, if they're setting up their hand like Shenron, Yeah, they can set their grave beforehand, so like they can, if they draw their wishes and stuff, like they can still do cute stuff. Like that's obviously true, but at the same time, if they have 13 cards in hand and you have 5, 6 cards in hand, you're gonna play this regardless. It doesn't matter if you're gonna set up after. Like it just you need the card advantage that you're getting from playing this is insane, especially with pan. And I just played 4 because you want to see it. And then the one of that you saw at the beginning, Ghost Attack, Super Saiyan 3, Gotenks. So versus any non-blue deck like Androids, a lot of Shenron decks that aren't playing. There are obviously most Shenron decks are playing blue. There are Shenron decks that aren't playing with blue and Bean. And even if they do have Bean, it forces them to either have Bean, and then you're still getting attacked with your guy, forcing the Bean. And you still have the other tokens. You don't have to attack that turn. So, or it versus like decks with a lot of blockers, stuff like that, you can get around blockers because you can swing multiple times to get like around blockers. Any attack that connects, you can, if like that's the lethal attack, that's usually when you're going to play this or to pressure them. But like for lethal, if you can just go in with your whole hand and then this permanent goes off and they gain double strike. So that works at any time. And on top of that, this is an Earthling for Yamcha. So you can grab this off Yamcha. Getting into the side deck. And also I just want another late game bomb. As you can see, like hit is like your high end. You want like well, at least I wanted something else that provided another threat in the late game. Getting into the side deck, 4th Vegeta. This is not the exact same side that I would play at Nats. It probably would have been slightly different. I probably would have played like tech cards like Crisis Crusher, Black Mass, and Dende, like Akami, cards like that. I would have sided more at Nats for certain matchups and other things like that. Cards that are better versus larger matchups. But this is also, since I played, this is mainly what I would side. A lot of the same stuff, but it might not be the exact same side. It would probably change a few cards. So a 4th copy of this just for decks that like play Black Mass A a lot, especially decks that like main it, or decks that versus Androids. This is good too because it helps you get over the Delhi Defender. 4th Unending Awakening versus Storm and any other deck where you use for one another negate. 4th Pan. Versus decks that you just feel like you need to be able to close out, apply pressure versus, and also provides another barrier blocker versus like U7. 3rd burst attack, burst basically cell chain. Any deck where you feel like you're gonna have low hand and it's gonna be grindy games, you can side another one of these. 2nd M2, versus again decks that play Black Mass Saiyan, because they can still defend the Black Mass Saiyan with negates, blocks, stuff like this. This just gets rid of it. Crisis Crusher, stuff like that. Another copy of Gotenks. So obviously you can see these are all already cards that are in my deck, just additional copies to change counts. This versus decks that don't play Sensu Bean, I'm going to put this in for sure. And just anything where I feel like I need to go wide or apply a ton of pressure, this is great. So those are all the 1-ofs that I'm currently playing. 2 Yamcha. This might not have been my side at Nationals, but versus Delhi Defenders, it allows you to have an unnegatable 30k going into their Delhi Defender. It's going to deal 2 life. So that's really cool. And versus decks that just play blockers, like a lot of blockers, this just makes you be able to swing unnegatable. And especially if this is on the board and then you pan, because you're swinging. And if they block, whatever, it's great versus blockers. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, getting into multiple things. It's great versus blockers because you're obviously going to use your effect to 2 life. But additionally, like if you have this on the board and you play something like Pan to give this double strike just on the card without needing to kill a battle card, you can use his effect and make him unnegatable and then just attack their leader. And you're 35k or 25k double strike already because you panned and then used his effect. Or 30k double strike, I should say. So it allowed you to do things like that, and it was another Earthling. But I would probably have tested that a little bit more if I was actually going to play Pan at the event. I probably would have played it the night before a little bit and seen how dedicated I actually was to that. 2 Digging Deep for decks that play like 4 Crisis Crushers. I can just put this in so they can't like stall me out like Shenron with 4 Crisis Crusher and stuff, and I can't use my Trunks to awaken, so I pretty much would only have Digging Deeps. And in that case, you're gonna probably need to see more than one of them. 2 Scientist Fu. This versus like Cell Chain, Super 17 Chain, anything like that. So you can just put this in, not an overwhelm threat, it has a double strike inherently on it, and replenishes your hand. And 3 Haru Haru. This is versus, obviously, androids, any version of androids, really. Unless if someone was playing Mira, which I doesn't see as much play anymore. So, really versus any version of androids or versus U7. There's not really any other yellow leaders that are heavily played right now. There could have been like a Rogue Frieza Wish leader, but that's about it. There's not really very many other leaders that this is going to come in against and see a lot of play other than androids right now. But just versus that deck, it's super good. Obviously, it's a free play crit, and critting down their life is super good. Alright, so that is the deck profile for Pan that I would have played at Nats if I didn't play Hercule. I still think this is a really good deck going into the format, going into, say, like the Orlando 5K or anything like that, because, say, Android I still think is a really good deck that people are going to play. It's not like a super hard deck to play, and it's really rewarding. Self-chain is really rewarding. People are now seeing how good Super 17 is, because obviously George Machado did really well with it. Russell Stills did really well with it in their decks at National, so people are realizing how powerful that card and that chain is. So versus just androids in general, I think that this has a pretty good matchup. It can beat Storm. It's not like it has a favored matchup by any means. I'd say it's more 50-50. But you have the negates, 8 super good negates versus the deck. Like, you don't have a Dimension Magic or anything like that, but you have really good negates versus the deck. And you have barrier blockers, you have Legic, stuff like that, to help protect against Mira. So I think versus a lot of the decks that you're going to see, I think it's pretty good going into the meta. Maybe Shenron gives it a harder matchup, but I feel like, especially with Digging Deeps on the side, it should be able to deal with Shenron. And it has outs to pretty much all of its, like, not outs, but like tech cards. Like, Black Mass Saiyan is probably the best card versus Pan, just because it has Vegeta. A lot of decks have, a lot of them have Topo as well. And then you have the Chain Zen-oh as well, or Chain Attack, I should say. So Black Mass Saiyan is a big problem for the deck, so being able to get rid of that card is super, super important. That's why, as you saw, I played 3 Vegeta main and a 4th on the side, and then the Planet M2 in the main and another in the side. Because decks, the main deck that are just a problem. Like, it's super annoying to deal with. So, until next time, I'm out. Peace.